Hi, this is Bunny Hoopstar. I'm going to be presenting a workshop at Sacred Circularities in Bali in 2012 called Movement and Flow. So today's tutorial is going to address a very specific part of that workshop. We're going to look at acquiring an additional hoop with a kick-up while spinning the first hoop in lasso. I'd like to talk a little bit about my creative process as a hoop star and what that involves. So when I'm preparing for performance or in training in general, I like to go through several steps. The first step and most essential step for me is being inspired by music. I feel like it's what gets me up off my chair and gets me into the dance. So I listen to a broad range of genres in music, and it's almost like I'm just waiting for that track to inspire me to craft a performance or to simply dance and spin. Secondly, I like to dance without my hoop, believe it or not. Often I will introduce hoopless dancing in my classes as well, just as a reminder of what it is to move the body. I let my body lead me, and to get into that zone, I spin a lot. I do this without hoops as well when I'm dancing, just spinning and what's called sustained spinning in the hooping community, going into a style of movement that the Sufis used to practice many years ago, where you start to galactivate really. A lot of people have trouble with sustained spinning because of the dizziness, and I find the best way around this is to just really soak up the blur and allow your mind to accept a different perspective, a new way of seeing your environment, which in this case is very softened edges, in fact no edges, and a montage of color. After that, I go into another type of freeform spin, and that is where I just start to work my repertoire of familiar moves, what my body naturally is inclined to do in the hoop or dancing. And again, that's a lot of spinning, on and off the body moves. There's a point where your body starts to flow in its own way. So I'm going to demonstrate the difference between a circus style kick-up and a feral hoop dance style kick-up. We will assume that we've already got a single hoop spinning, and with circus we need to remember to keep it very statuesque. It's very pretty, it's very still. So because I have shoes on, I can't just wiggle my toes under the hoop. I'm going to step on the back of the hoop and slide my foot under, so I'm ready to go. Now, with the circus style, I'm going to sweep the hoop around, I'm going to stay in that locked position and kick up with as much control as possible and bring it back to that very still, very aligned position. So, as most of you know, I'm more of a fan of hybrid style hooping or combining circus styles of hooping with hoop dance. So it's going to get a little wilder. And with this version, we have more leeway to play with surfaces that aren't smooth, such as grass, or it's an easier way of dealing with hooping with shoes on, for instance. And I find it generally just more fun. There's lots of takeoff with it. So you'll notice I'll sweep the hoop across my body and I'm going to lift off. And there we go. So you'll notice that the hoop is resting on my right foot because I spin to the left. So my foot is also somewhat to the right of the hoop, and the other foot, the left foot, is going to come to the front of the hoop, and I'm going to just swing that hoop across the left leg. So I lift it and swing. And the next thing that I'm going to do with this move is I'm going to try and get a hopping action happening.
So I'm going to spin it and I will turn to the left as I do this in a tight circle. And so that final part of the move is bringing the left foot in and bringing it under the hoop and kicking it up, just as you would if you were kicking up from the knees. So I'll show that to you in a couple of different versions where I reduce the amount of times that I hop.
So as I reach the end, another part of my creative practice, I throw in the new moves. I challenge myself to explore moves that I'm not so good at, I've seen other people do. It might be a move that I've discovered in my own body. Often I have magical moments where I find my body creates a move and I have to actually chase that move in my body to figure out what it is that I'm doing. And finally, in my creative process and my practice, I just rock it out. It's closure for me. I need that closure. It happens at the end of every class that I teach and that I'm a student at, where I need to consolidate what I've been working on through tapping into that sweet spot of hoop bliss and joy. There's no thought, there's no challenge, there's no judgment or commentary going on for me anyway. I'm just in it, and there's a lot of blur, there's a lot of color montage, there's a lot of galactivation, and this is the reward of your practice, where it's just fun and it's dance and it's spinning into pure joy. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial.